of my program this morning, and one I'm going to be giving tomorrow afternoon is all around executive presence. So I thought I'd take a moment and talk about this concept. People talk about developing executive presence, exuding executive presence, and what does it really mean? So I simply define executive presence as a quality that means you are projecting confidence and competence. It's that quality. It's also your ability to positively influence and persuade. And it's not one thing. So often people come into my programs around executive presence and think I'm going to spend a great deal of time talking about dress or voice. And while things like the way you dress or your voice are contributing factors, there are many, many things that contribute to your ability to, and let me share that again, to your ability to exude confidence and competence and come across as somebody who can persuade and positively influence. So the process of developing executive presence really starts with an understanding of what it is, and then looking at all the ways, both verbally, things you say, non-verbally. So non-verbally is anything from eye contact to body language to vocal intonation to looking into the camera when you're speaking. Those are things, but also there's your ability to be consistent, to be knowledgeable. Harvey Coleman came up with the concept called PI, and I know many of you are familiar with it, but PI was that the overall way you come across is based on three things: your performance, your image, and your exposure. He also said the higher up you got in an organization, the more it was about your image and your exposure than about your actual technical skills or performance. And your executive presence really is a combination of all things, because powerful, strong, competent performance enhances your image. But you can be technically very proficient, but not seen as a leader, seen as decisive, seen as somebody who nurtures others. Image. And then exposure. Who other than your immediate circle knows about you? Who do you have access to? So in my programs on executive presence, we're talking about what are some concrete things you can do to enhance your image in an authentic and credible way, and how can you build connections and maximize your exposure. So just some thoughts for this lovely Monday on your overall executive presence and tangible things that you can do every day. And one of the things that you can do is really learn to own your space. And here's a video I did a while back on owning your space, which is, again, an element of executive presence, but it's multifactorial.
So what does it mean to own your space? So Own Your Space, which is my book, keynotes, workshops, is all around giving yourself permission to be the person presenting information. If you are getting a sales presentation or you are being interviewed for a new position, do you own your space? Do you look comfortable? Do you look confident? Do you come across both confidently and competently? And in owning your space, you need to understand the verbal and non-verbal elements of your physical space. In other words, what you say, but equally important is how you say it. And then we look at your virtual owning your space. Is your LinkedIn profile complete? Do you have a good picture of yourself? Think about owning your podium when you give a presentation. Do you look comfortable? Do you look commanding? So these are just some of the topics that I cover in Own Your Space. And I ask you to really think about, do you maximize the overall way you project yourself in every interaction? Because if you do, you are truly owning your space.
And again, owning your space is an element of your executive presence. And everything really begins with relationship to self and owning your confidence. And that's interesting enough why I chose Own Your Confidence as the topic of my TEDx talk, because relationship to self is always the beginning. So TEDx Emory, Nadia Bilchik, Own Your Confidence, another element, another contributing factor to your executive presence. So for more information on my programs, keynotes on executive presence, and how, again, you can come across as confident, competent, and credible, and how you can positively influence and inspire, please reach out to me, link in with me, Instagram at Nadia Bilchik or nadiaspeaks.com, and hope you have a very good start to your week.